This is the Fellowship of the Films podcast, a podcast where we discuss movies, TV, and other pop culture related topics. My name's Duncan, and with me I have Ryan.
Yep.
And tonight we are discussing She-Hulk episode 7. That's the one.
We're there, yep.
That's the one. So, we're gonna jump right into this here. Before we start, I'd like to ask you to please drop a like, comment on our videos, follow our pages, and do all that nice stuff for our channel. But we'll talk about that again at the end. So let's jump right into this. She-Hulk episode 7. And if you've listened to our other episode reviews of She-Hulk, you'll know that
Mixedly negative.
Mixedly negative. We don't love this show.
No.
It's not. We have no issue with the concept. It's just the execution.
And also,
is shitty.
Yeah, it's not my favorite. It seems it can be simplistic at times, and overall,
I like the character. I really want it to be good, but it's just. And at first, I was saying it's not for me, but last episode really pushed me over the edge. Last episode, I was like, no, this is garbage.
Yeah.
What did you think of this episode? I need your initial reaction here.
It brought me back. What's the right word? We went from last episode pushed me to the brink into oblivion, and I really searched my soul for my will to live. Now in this episode, I don't know, that might be a tad exaggeration, but in this episode I started to feel a little, I don't know. It brought me back one step back.
We have Daredevil, everybody.
There's no Daredevil. Dude, what do you mean? We have Daredevil at Hope. Daredevil at Hope doesn't exist. Anyways, but I gotta say, this episode brought me back a little bit. I don't know if this show just existed at this level. I don't know if we were. I wouldn't probably watch it, but I could be okay with it existing. You know.
Sure. Here's my thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the thing of including Daredevil was a terrible idea because unless you're going to actually do something with that.
But we got 2 more episodes still, though.
No, they don't tease it in episode 5.
Got 'em. They got us.
That's such a crappy move. Teases it in episode 5 and then makes everybody wait because you know everybody's going to come back every episode because they know he's coming.
Yep.
So, I just thought that was really, really... okay, so here's the thing. I found this episode funny. It was an enjoyable watch. I enjoyed myself. But it's because my expectations were so incredibly low.
Oh, yeah. I turned my brain off completely. Like this is technically entertainment, I guess.
Not to spoil the party, everybody, but we did have a little drink. Well, not really.
No,
but
we
we had a sip before this, and if any of that went to our brains, it really helped the show. Yes. Because my issues still exist with the show. At this point, I've more just accepted it. I think that's why I enjoyed this episode. Because I accepted, I'm like, this is what it is at this point. So I'm going to sit, and if I'm going to sit here for half an hour, unless it's absolute garbage, like last episode, I'm going to do my best to try to enjoy this. And that I did. I did enjoy this. My issues still exist with the show.
Oh, yeah.
Every issue I had before still exists, but this was a tolerable time.
Yep, there was they went out to the old, retreat, and...
Every episode feels like filler. You know how there's usually one episode of filler in a show?
Yeah, this is just all filler.
Every episode, well, most of them anyways, have felt like
and then they throw something in at the end to get you interested, but it's just been filler.
But it feels like every episode, you know how typically there's that one episode where they take a break from the story, or one or two, or one every couple in a little while. They take a break from the story.
You work on your character.
A side thing or a side adventure, side story, and then they get back to it next episode. It feels like every single episode is like that, which it's just exhausting, frankly, because every single episode I end going, well, that was great, but we've still made it a very short amount of progress. And because we only have 2 episodes left, that's right? 2 episodes, yeah.
Yep.
I feel like the finale of this is going to be underwhelming, because we're getting to that point now. They only have 2 episodes to finish this off.
They have to start something next episode.
They've only been teasing things. So at this point, they're going to have to, in my opinion, rush this plot because they've only been teasing it. They haven't really developed it. We kind of know what's going on, but it's been teases. They haven't developed a plot. So they're going to have to rush this thing that's been going on through each of these episodes that they've teased at the end or the middle of each of these episodes. They're gonna have to throw it all together and shove it in these last two. And I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think that's the way to do it. I think that even if they wanted the side adventures should have been far less. They should have developed a decent plot throughout the episodes, or every second episode, or just more than what they've done. It feels like we've made very little progress, and the end is going to be, apart from Daredevil showing up, by the time he actually does, the show is going to have sent me so far into like, ugh, that I'm going to be done. So, I like the concept. I was excited to see She-Hulk. I like the entire concept of the show. Just the execution is so vanilla, and just, do you know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
The execution is so just plain, and well, I just said it was vanilla, so those are two different flavors, people. The execution is just so boring, and I don't know. This project has really tested my patience with the MCU, and if it wasn't for some recent news that we've gotten lately,
but go check that video out.
Exactly, which we have a video on. I would be relatively checked out right now of the MCU, but because of recent news, I've still got hope, but not for this show.
No, I've accepted. We're just gonna. It's mediocre at best, and
we've had talks about how it could really turn around. I don't think it could turn around.
It's not going to turn around.
It could turn around for the last 2 episodes. Like, we could be like, that was an enjoyable 2 episodes. But it won't change our opinion on the entire show.
Oh, no. It's still so much filler at this point.
So, yeah, that's my thoughts on it. There was some things I thought were fun. Like, at the start, the way they were filming it with her doing things in the kitchen.
I didn't mind that,
you could see
actually.
multiple gens at once doing things. I thought that was
I didn't mind that.
There's creative choices like that I don't mind. I found it really funny. I enjoyed that whole the characters at the retreat and their little chats.
Oh yeah, that wasn't
their comments. I thought it was funny. So like I said, this episode was more tolerable for me. I laughed. I went, "Oh, that's cool," or "Oh, that's interesting." But my overall issues with the show, like the lack of plot each episode, or the corniness. You know what? Even the corniness could work.
Yeah.
If the show was really good, the corniness could work. It's just that it's already got so many things that I don't like about it that the corniness almost at this point just adds to it and just annoys me. Because I like corny things. I like it. But because it's a comic book show, you need to have, it's going to be corny. Like, if you've read dialogue in a comic book, it's all terrible and corny. But the rest of the things just take it down a level for this show. Do you have thoughts? Any more thoughts from you? I've been chatting about it.
I don't know. I'm kind of overall on this show. Like this episode is, I don't know. There were, like you said, there was some couple of funny things. Like I didn't like some of the they weren't like great, but there was at least some a little bit of something, and like the retreat stuff and those characters. Like I don't know. The one thing I have noticed in this show is they're showing a lot more like, I don't know, a lot more like superpowered, like minorly superpowered people in comparison to like the rest of Marvel, basically, right? Because if you think about it, right, there's at least every episode there's some just random whack job, it seems like, who has some kind of ability.
It feels like,
or they introduce some kind of magic or something, you know?
Yeah, I you know what, that I actually don't have an issue with that decision, because it feels like because of Thanos and the Avengers and everything, and how many heroes there are in the Marvel Universe now, it would make sense that there's more of a community. There's a lot more heroes and superpowered people around. Well,
yeah, there's like the one dude who's just straight up insurance frauding, like out of trying to get all his widows out there. You know?
It makes sense that there's more hero people around, and they're making themselves more known because the Avengers have been a known thing, and they stopped Thanos and made it maybe more.
And I guess
powers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, I don't mind that decision. It works.
No, I think it's interesting though, because they actually there's just these random there's just these a lot. Yeah. It shows you there's other people. You know, it's not just like the Avengers, and that's it. Like
not just our A-list characters.
No, there's you got your D-list dude with El Matador sword dude. Like,
yeah, yeah. So that's my thoughts about this episode. Relatively unchanged. Still have my issues, but was this a waste of a half hour? No, it wasn't a waste.
Yeah.
It was bordering it, but
borderline.
the show's been a waste of my time. This episode wasn't in particular a waste of time, just the show.
Yeah, exactly.
So hopefully next week, when Daredevil shows up, we're gonna have something positive to say, obviously. But at this point, I feel like they could even mess up Daredevil. Like, I feel like we're gonna get like.
I feel like they already did because they teased it in a weird spot, but like whatever.
No, here's what I could see. I could just see like them making him just goofy somehow, and it's gonna piss me off. Like her being like, "Okay, well, I'll drive you back to your place then after they fight the villain," and they're like in the car singing together or something. I could see something like that happening.
How could I can see it now. I can see that.
But that's the thing. That's what I'm worried about. I'm like, if they did that, I'm gonna be like, look how they massacred my boy. Like, literally the meme. Like, I would be like so I'm a little concerned. I'm getting a little concerned at this point.
Let's not worry about it until we see it, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose. But still.
That's I don't know. I don't got much else to say, really.
No? Okay, well then that's our concluding thoughts. We're still pretty much at the same place we were last week on She-Hulk.
Just a little bit high.
Slightly more positive.
Well, because we were pretty negative, so.
Yeah, that was an angry episode, people.
Yep, that was also take 2, so that's besides the point.
Anyways, so that concludes our thoughts for tonight. Follow us on social media. Where do they find that?
In the About section of our channel, in the description of this video.
That has been. My name's Duncan. With me, I have. What's your name?
Ryan.
And you guys have a good evening. Check out our other episodes. We should have more content coming up soon.
Yep. Like and subscribe.